Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about why Americans have a love affair with giant SUVs. And I'm going to start with a little history lesson. We use Ford as an example. After World War II, Ford made its famous line of F trucks. They were pickup trucks. People like the pickup truck, you carry a lot of stuff. They're still making them, they're very popular. But in 1957, Ford came out with the Ranchero. It was part truck, part car, part station wagon. It had an open back, but it was more stylish. And then in 1966, they came out with the precursor to all the SUVs, the Ford Bronco. It was sealed in the back. It was a partial off-road vehicle. You could get in two-wheel drive, you could get in four-wheel drive, and it's really the beginning of modern SUVs, standing, of course, for sports utility vehicles. Many like the idea of the four-wheel drive option so they could go off-road in them. They were rugged vehicles, but coming from trucks, of course, they rode like trucks too. I mean, when OJ was trying to get away in his Bronco, you know, that thing isn't a smooth riding machine. And they kept adding to the Broncos. In 1978, they put V8 engines instead of the original 6-cylinder engine, so they had more power. And they increased the wheelbase to 104 inches instead of 96, so they'd have better drivability. Then in 1991, they had a game changer. They came up with the first real American SUV, which was a Ford Explorer. It mainly came with a V6 engine, but it had a lot more luxury accommodation than any of the Broncos or anything had. Then in 1996, it came out with the first Ford Expedition, a large, giant, four-door family carrier. Because Americans like big. It's got 1, 2, 3 rows of seats. And even with 3 rows of seats, it's still got a huge trunk that you can put a bunch of stuff in. And generally gone is the four-wheel drive. There's no front-wheel drive, only rear-wheel drive. At least on this model. You can get four-wheel drive ones if you want, but let's face it, hardly anybody's taking these things off-road. But speaking of rear-wheel drive, this baby's got the new 10-speed automatic transmission, the same one they use in the Mustangs. It's a combination of power and the best gas mileage you can get with 10 different gears. You can get a lot of power for taking off, but on the highway, you can still get good gas mileage. Now, in this 2018, the V8's gone, it's a V6, but it's a twin turbo that puts up 400 horsepower. So when you combine the 10-speed automatic transmission with the EcoBoost engine system and the fact that it uses a lot more aluminum, just like their pickup trucks for less weight, this gigantic thing can get 23 miles a gallon on a highway, which kind of amazes me because my old Celica, this tiny little sports car, it gets 26 miles a gallon on a highway. They get something that big, that kind of gas mileage. It's kind of an interesting technological achievement for sure. So if you know Americans, they love big things that are luxurious. Look, the little step side comes out so you can get in easy. And it's like being in a living room in your own Barca chair lounger. Comfy seats in the back. Even the third row seats are comfortable. And of course, it's got all the modern technological features, parking sensors, dual zone climate control, super fancy alarm system, electrically open tailgate assemblies, luggage rack if you want to do one of those National Lampoon summer vacations. Let's face it, this thing is like a man cave on wheels. And that's why Americans love these giant SUVs. Many Americans don't want the image of being a minivan man. They want a sports utility vehicle like this gigantic thing because it's more fun to drive, it's got a more macho image, it's not, here comes the man in the minivan. It's got some more aggressive styling like the Mustang. And it certainly is a sports utility vehicle. You got a family, you can utilize it to carry a whole bunch of people and fit a bunch of stuff if you take the back seats out and lower the panel. Sure, it's not the utility of the original ones, which was off-road, but it fits with our modern society. It's a utility thing for the whole family. And now you know why Americans are in love with giant SUVs. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.